always, for some reason, it always makes me remember in the transcript from Keegan talking to the officer when they asked him, "Do you think your father could have done this?" And even including with Barbara McDonald, but he makes a statement where he states, "Well, my dad can drag deer out of the woods," and I just thought that was an interesting comment. That why would he state it that way, dragging deer out of the woods?
Ritual that a person can do. So, first off, a tradition for hunting in Germany is that after you have killed the animal, as a sign of respect, you put some twigs or branches. I will put a photo in this video of it, and over top of the dead animal. And then after you've done this, then you open its mouth and it's like giving it its last meal type of thing. And you put some twigs of some like of an oak tree or whatever kind of tree is near you, of that habitat, in its mouth. And then, now, that's basically what we do here in Germany.
He was his dad's alibi, and his dad was his alibi. Oh yeah, we were together all day, and then we went to Grandma and Grandpa's house. Well, no, Keegan then says, we're parked at the cemetery. He parks at the cemetery. Tony gets out, which when I show that on the map so easily, to walk right down from that cemetery down Ron Logan's property to get right to the crime scene, which means they had to know where the crime scene was going to be. They had to already know that that's where they were going to go. And I bring up I have a show called The Missing Witness that talks about some other witnesses that we know were there earlier in the day and saw somebody early in the morning, a vehicle, saw somebody out there early in the morning on that side of the bridge, who could have been casing out where they were going to go prior to the crime, which would make sense because we also know that the officers bring up to Keegan that him and his dad were up first thing at 8 o'clock that morning, already on their phones. Well, they pointed that out for a reason. There's a reason that they did that.
I loved your answer when you were talking about the hunter similarity. I loved what you said before. So maybe you can repeat it for the people that just enter here.
I also says it was something you'd want to take a picture of. Not sure on that statement. I'm not sure on that statement, other than it's a strong statement to me. It means something. It's strong. It says something big. So when we talk about TK and the pictures he would take of, if this is what Cryptex is kind of referring to, I know that early on when they were sort of brought up as suspects in this whole deal, find all of those things very suspect. The fact that he's proud to show off a big cut off head of a deer and say, look what I've done, look what I've killed. He hunted in that area. He knew it well. Everyone did. I can't believe that anyone in that area that grew up in Delphi area or in the surrounding community didn't know that area well. As somebody that has a lot of small towns like that around here, I call BS on that. I know where all the little swimming holes are at and all that, you know, all the party spots where we used to go get stoned and everything. Come on.
So I think this is the day law enforcement went to talk to Keegan about the murders. So these are three officers here. And we have Keegan. We have Keegan in the sofa, and look at this weird decoration. Let's say,
I don't know.
Kind of creepy, yeah.
You don't say. Yeah, you just have antlers on the floor. I mean, what was it, like dinner at some point, and they just ate it and left the leftovers on the floor? I mean, I don't get that. I mean, if you're proud about killing something so proud, why not put it up on the wall? What is that thing in the corner? What the fuck is that?
This is really disturbing.
Did they
Well,
trick?
probably.
Did they trick the deer to come in the house and then like kill him there? I mean, I just don't get it. It's very odd. That's an odd scene to me, you guys. I mean, I've never seen this picture before, and it is shocking to me to see some kind of evil, skeletal fucking thing that looks like something out of that movie Danny Darko, you know. And that's gonna be in my nightmares. It says they're proud to kill. They're proud to kill, and that's like the number one focus. They're not being humble about it like a good hunter would. Like, oh, I'm feeding my family, or I'm helping thin the herd a bit because they're overpopulated and it's actually detrimental to them. No, it's all about the display of power and bloody. Look at the wall color. Even, do you think Mrs. Shots across the street helped with the decorating? I don't know.
And then Keegan says that Tony goes, he's out of the car, gone for a while, that he comes back, he has blood on him, that they go to leave, that Keegan throws out a phone. So there goes that that's a burner phone, people. That's not his real phone. I think they're smart enough that they've done enough CSAM to know not to use your real phone to be traced. And that Tony throws out a knife. And then we know for 5 weeks they're searching the Wabash River near their home in Peru. What it wasn't overly reported is there was another water search that happened in Delphi. And that search only had to last a few days. So my thought is, why did that one only last a few days? Did they find something? Because in my opinion, what would be in the water in Delphi would be the cell phone. Because the cell phone you'd want to get rid of right away so it can't be traced to follow you anywhere or locate you anywhere. So you're going to dump that out right away. And the knife, you don't want that close by to where the scene is. You want to get rid of it farther. So if they did find a phone that quickly, it would take them a while. CSAM by itself takes forever for them to logistically get into that phone. But when you talk about a phone that has probably been sitting there for 6 years underwater, you now have to see what you can recover from it and have people with that expertise to be able to get to it.
What do you think about the Red Jeep story? They said the state or the prosecution that they were able to confirm that the Red Jeep story was fake because they couldn't see any Red Jeep in the traffic cameras. But what is weird?
I think the Red Jeep is literally a red herring.
Right.
I think the Red Jeep was slipped to give information to Tony to know that Keegan's talking, but not to let him know that everything that Keegan is saying. So the other part of what we also know that happened that morning of the murders that got leaked out was that Keegan Klein looked up the Marathon gas station in Delphi.
The 13th.
And the Marathon gas station just happens to also be where the FBI lost the hard drive info from the cameras. And first they were trying to download it on just a USB drive. Supposedly it wouldn't work. Then they take the hard drive and the FBI sits there and leave that. Now, I have a whole nother theory on that, and that may be a whole nother show about what I have a little suspicion about, but I'm not ready to go completely right there yet. However, so the evidence that could have really answered a question really quickly is gone. Especially that you would need that video to confirm if he looked up the Marathon gas station and met up with somebody. And that would add up to that they met up earlier, that they went to go check out the location earlier, right? They were trying to figure out what their plan was, where they were going, all that kind of stuff. It would probably be way more familiar to Richard Allen of that area than it would have been to Keegan or Tony. So they would have to figure out, where's this going to be? Where can we be that we won't be seen? What's the easiest way to get to that? And it always, for some reason, it always makes me remember in the transcript from Keegan talking to the officer when they asked him, do you think your father could have done this? And even including with Barbara McDonald, but he makes a statement where he states, well, my dad can drag deer out of the woods. And I just thought that was an interesting comment, that why would he state it that way, dragging deer out of the woods? I think that you can't ignore the eyewitness that sees and mentions first a purple PT Cruiser or SUV that he sees first, and then makes later also the statement of a smaller car that's there. The first car he notices, because it's at the farther part of the CPS building, is a purple PT Cruiser or Cruiser. Now, to say purple, that's a big thing to stand out. And if you know those purple PT Cruisers, when you saw a purple one, they kind of did stand out to you, because that's not a usual color, that you would see on a vehicle. And the guy is seeing it on the opposite side, and that's what caused attention to him. And then we have the other witness who's leaving, but she is seeing and paying attention to that smaller vehicle, right? The Ford that's backed up in there. Mm-hmm. So then it just makes you curious about that. Also, the witness who worked there over near that area had pulled in that morning, saw a vehicle parked to the side of the road that morning, saw a vehicle still parked there in the afternoon. And then he talks about later seeing that vehicle parked over near the Freedom Bridge. So he's saying, though, that when he talked to the Harvest Store owner over there and asked on the camera, he saw that person purposely did not drive it in front of the camera. And if you do have somebody who's ever committed any type of crime like this before, that person is going to pay attention to that detail. They're going to make sure they're not seen, they're not connected electronically by phone, their vehicles isn't picked up by something. So that could be something else that's also picked up there. So as far as the red Jeep, I think the red Jeep this is totally my opinion, but I think that the red Jeep was a red herring, and that's not the vehicle that was told. I think it was not what they were driving. And the reason I'm going to say that is because it's actually Tony Klein's car. That would be easy as hell to spot a bright red Jeep, that people would remember seeing a bright red Jeep. And I don't think he was that stupid to pull a red Jeep right there in front of it to be seen. I think could it be, grandma's vehicle who has a PT Cruiser? Sure. Could it be another relative's? Could it be a cousin's car? Could it be something else? Absolutely. But I think they gave a little bit more to keep Tony worried, in my opinion. Let him be concerned about what's going out there.